the Historic Preservation Commission. And we have members present. We are starting the meeting at 5:41. So we'll call our meeting to order, 5:41, on June the 8th. And let's see. Out earlier. Did everyone read the minutes?
Is everybody able to hear Mary Ann? She asked if everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes from February.
I can barely hear her.
Okay.
Really? You can't hear me?
Yeah, barely hear.
I asked if everyone had an opportunity to read the minutes that I sent out earlier.
That's better, Mary Ann.
Better.
Thank you. All right. Have we read the minutes? Any?
I move that we approve, Mary Ann. I move we approve the minutes.
Good. All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Any noes? No. Okay, the minutes are approved as we have them. Our next meeting will be May 13th, 2020, and perhaps in the same format. I'm not sure, Paul. We'll decide that at the time.
Mary Ann, I would anticipate that we will continue to do online meetings. I can say that for the most part, almost all meetings of the city right now are being done either over the telephone or through an online capacity such as this. That includes everything from city council to just general one-on-one meetings that a staff person might have with a city resident or a contractor or somebody. So I don't believe that will be changing soon, but it's I would expect at least into July we'll be meeting like this.
Very good. Now for old business, I believe we had some old business to address, like the district expansion that we started. Where do we stand on that?
Well, we were supposed to have a public meeting in mid-March, and that public meeting obviously has been postponed and has not been rescheduled for a host of reasons that we're all aware of at this point in our lives. And at least in the structure that we were proposing for that meeting, to hold a public forum of that nature, we will, if we wish to do so, we will likely need to continue to postpone for at least a few more months. But if the commissioners want to speak about alternative methods of doing so or other ideas or anything like that, of course, that's all up for discussion.
Guess we can't even pick a date to look at in the future when we would like to have it. Probably out of the question right now. Correct.
There could be an opportunity, Mary Ann. We could do information sessions similar to this that we're doing right now to discuss with property owners and business owners if the commission wanted to. That might be a little bit more of a heavy lift to try to get people to participate, but actually it might be easier too, since people nobody would have to leave their home. So that is a possibility. I can say that City Council will be going on recess for the month of July. So if the planning or if the Preservation Board is thinking about moving forward with something soon, the earliest anything at this point would be getting to City Council's hands would likely be August of 2020.
This is all future work for us.
Correct.
So, let me see, is there any other business that we needed to discuss? Any other old business?
Well, we were talking, I already talked or emailed Paul about this probably isn't the best time to try to get property owners to modify the historic district. But it doesn't stop us from at least getting our ducks in line with the city code office in terms of the procedures that need to be done, even with the district as it is. I mean, without the modified district, we still don't have the paperwork, I don't think, in line if a person is going to be applying for a building permit in the historic district of Athens, what that means and what they go through. And I, in anticipation of the meeting in March, which never happened, tried to put together some information for Paul. I've talked with David Riggs a couple times down at the code office on how we can dovetail our review process in with the basic zoning issues or process that needs to be done by anybody that builds anywhere in the city of Athens. I didn't share that information with anybody on the committee except for Paul. And it can be because there's probably room for, discussion or modification. But it seems to me that we have the opportunity to do that now, to get the code office and to get the documents in order that would need reviewed for our review and what we're looking for. And this is the national district. It's not just the local district we're talking about right now.
Don, you have something put together? You have forms already put together?
I've done a bunch of documents, yes.
Oh, great.
One of them is the historic preservation review process. And this one, it was just basically for our information and for the cities in terms of what all the different documents that are provided by the city would need modified to accommodate our historic preservation review. I'm not going to read them all right here now. I can email them all. And then the other one was the other one was just a historic and historic preservation submission outline, which would give individuals an understanding of what needed to be submitted and why at various points, and how it can be done easily. If their structure happened to be within the historic district, then this outline would help them guide through the process of approval. And the third thing was I sort of created and invented my own application for certificate of appropriateness. And again, this would be something that the code office would provide to a property owner in the event that their work or building and work on their building was in the designated historic district or designated historic landmark. And it goes through supplementary information to be provided with the application where applicable. And it involves the things I think that we were be looking for. And again, I'm going to send this to you. I'm not going to go through it. Pages worth of, it's a page. I tried to make this simple for people to understand and to go through. But basically the headlines are the alterations and change of color, new buildings, additions to existing buildings, demolition, partial demolition, and moving are the basic subcategories of the supplementary information that needed to be provided. All of this is predicated on conforming with the National Historic guidelines, which are already in the building code, as anybody that needs, well, they're already in the code, anybody that needs to be in or develops within the historic district. And like I say, the historic district now is just the one state or national historic district, not the local. Everybody hear me?
Yeah. Yes. John, just so. Oh, that's Guy. There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you. And that, people will say, "You're going to tell me what color to paint my building," and I know that's kind of an issue.
I don't believe we can do color. I don't think we can include color. It's usually never done in any of these. And the only reason color would come in is if you had a brick building that you were trying to paint some color. If that was against a code or something, but otherwise it wouldn't be something we could easily do. That would open a large can of worms.
Okay, I agree with you completely, but people are going to find fault with that. That's all. We really have to smooth that over.
Well, it can be made, I think you can say that in a different way, Guy. A lot of people, in my experience in doing things, they were looking for advice.
Of course.
And we could provide that advice or recommendations.
Okay.
John?
Yes.
I think it's great that you're going to email these to the members of the commission, and that would give us a chance to look at them, and maybe at the next meeting, if need be, we could have a fuller discussion on it. But I don't feel that I can talk much about something right now. I'm delighted that you've done this, and I think it's you're to be commended for that. But until we see the actual documents, we probably shouldn't have too prolonged of a discussion.
Absolutely. I understand. I just, I was in a rush to get it done by March.
Yeah.
Because I was told that we had to have a specific outline for the public.
Sure.
At that meeting. And I don't know if Paul's gone through it yet and looked at things, but I sent it to him in preview, but I'll send it to everybody else as well.
Thank you, John, very, very much.
Yeah, looking forward to reading it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
John, I know the documents that you sent to me were draft documents. Have you made any changes to them since then?
Well, my wife did a spell check since I sent it.
I'll let you send updated versions then instead of forwarding what I have.
Good. I mean, and I wanted to go through Paul first before I went through the whole committee, because I want to make sure that we stay in line with the city intentions here and don't go off in a direction. Like David Riggs was very, he didn't really know what was going on, but he was totally, good and to work with us on implementing. And a lot of these things that we're trying to do need to be really done through legal review by the city and Paul to make sure that they stay within. We can't just go off our own. We need to make sure that it's in the city's best interest and the city's intent. They're the ones that need to write this stuff in the end. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know a lot of times if I'm saying things that might not be a good idea. A lot of it, though, was taken from other examples, from other areas and other that have gone through this whole process already. I didn't create this myself. I more or less compiled it, which I thought would be, in a way that I thought would be best for the city of Athens and our community.
Thank you, John. Thank you for all your hard work on this. I can't wait to see it.
Well, don't say that, Marianne. You're not going to like it, probably. Not hard.
I want to see it. So. I like your math. That was excellent. So. Okay. Anyone have anything else to add to the district expansion?
Just back to the public meeting that we're going to have. I wrote my little 2-minute spiel, and it's like 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll see how many real building owners are there, but it's pretty specific to building owners, and I think that's important. I want to be able to give that message. Any comments?
That's the key, is to make the building owners understand that this is going to be a valuable process for them. But I don't know, like I told Paul, I think this is not the time to be talking about, I mean, all the building owners are Ohio University, the way they're going and things, they're probably, nervous about functioning in Athens.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, maybe in 3 months, everything will be fine again. I know it's just maybe, but right now would not be a good time to try to encourage them to incorporate more regulations on their property.
All right. Well,
I would say as a non-voter, just the administrative assistant to the board, it would seem reasonable to give a little bit of time to let's see how everything shakes out. Let's see what happens with Ohio University's fall semester, with students coming back, et cetera. That seems, since there are still some unknowns, I think it appears as if the university is prepared to open up for a regular fall semester or a modified fall semester with students primarily being in Athens. It seems reasonable to at least let's get a better picture of what this community is going to look like at the end of the summer. But again, don't have any authority over the board. So
you're very wise, Paul.
Thank you, Richard.
A graduate of Ohio University, no doubt.
And Ohio State.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah. The two finest institutions in the state.
Okay, moving along. Is there anything else under old business we should be discussing right now? If not, and Paul, I believe you had the word membership written under new business. Don't know what that was about, really.
Yeah, I put that on there just to reiterate. So I know I reported through an email as well, but the chair of the Historic Preservation Board, Keith Chapman, he did send an email to me about last month notifying me of his intent to resign from the Preservation Board. He said that he wanted to refocus himself back onto his work, as well as into some other things that he's active with Uptown Athens. He's still active in the community, still active and interested in what the Preservation Board is working on. But he just wanted to, with limited free time, he wanted to devote himself to a few of other things that he's active with right now. So all that being said, there's an opening on the board as well. At some point, maybe at the July meeting, the Preservation Board will want to consider have a discussion about nominating a new chair. That is a responsibility from within the board to nominate and vote on that. So board members can discuss now, or you can think about it and discuss it in July.
Everyone's choice. Discuss it in July.
I assume there's also the need to replace Keith.
Correct.
To put us to restore ourselves to 7 members. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, and the process, I believe the process for appointments to the board, this would be to complete Keith Chapman's term. I'm not sure when that expires, but I believe Keith was reappointed about a year ago. So the person would be taking Keith's position or chair, and then the appointment is made by the mayor, who provides notification to city council prior to that person being formally put on the board. There are requirements because we are under our ordinance that qualified board members or potential board members need to be, they need to fit within a few different frames. I believe we already meet all the qualifications based on the current membership. We have people who are experts in historic preservation and local history. We have architects. We have property owners who own historic buildings. So I believe we're good on that. There is only so much room for people who do not live within the city of Athens. So I would recommend that we do try to focus on finding a city resident for that appointment, just to make sure that that's being taken care of. It could be a property owner. It could be somebody who has a knowledge of land use law. It could be somebody who owns a historic property. It could be somebody who has just a knowledge or interest in local history. So anything like that should be sufficient. And of course, somebody who can make it to meetings. That's always an important part of that, is making sure that we have quorum for meetings. That's a big one that I'm always concerned about. So somebody who has some availability on Monday evenings once a month, and it has a few extra hours that they're willing to participate. That's all.
Nobody's coming to mind right off the top of my head, but is there a person that's in the building trades, a plumber or an electrician, that somebody can think of?
I'll think of somebody. I mean, I haven't right now, that lives in Athens.
Yeah.
I think another need is to have people who have broad business experience, who are well known in the community, who also have intimately connected with the financial community, so they know a lot about things such as mortgages and so forth. And Marianne and I had once had a conversation which began innocently enough at a cocktail party. As someone who I will not mention here on this public forum that we're on, but we met a person, Mark Snyder, who is a local business person who has been in the community for a half a century almost, lives on Elmwood, owns property or is involved with others who own property uptown, I believe. That's true. And is on the board of the largest community bank in the area. So he has a connection with that part of the broader community. He is himself in the financial services industry. And he seems genuinely interested in the process. He asked me, I saw him at another social event a couple days ago, and he said he would be interested. Paul asked the very appropriate question of me, is he around? I mean, is he in town much? And the answer is, I think he's in town most of the time. He's on, as I say, he's on a local bank board, so that doesn't allow him to be gone too much. And he's around. So I would throw that name out for consideration. Just someone to think about.
Well, I'd say 2 cents. If you want to turn that to a motion, maybe we could ask them. Is it appropriate do we need a motion to do that?
The board, guy, to that question, the under Athens City Code, the board does not have a formal role in nominating anybody, but sure, if you wanted to, if the board felt that was somebody that they may support, yeah, you could do a motion just to test the temperature of the board. That's not an issue.
Mary Ann, did I misrepresent you?
No, that's wonderful. I think he'd be a great addition to the board. So,
Okay.
would someone care to make a motion that we invite Mark Snyder to the board?
Well, we don't invite him. City does.
I will make a motion that that one of the two of you reach out and see if he'd say yes. And if that's the case, then another time we'll make a motion to put his name forward to the mayor as a recommendation.
Well, I will second the idea. I don't know what the procedure is, but I like the idea. I like Guy's idea, so I second the idea that we at least informally show our interest in the appointment of Mark Snyder to the board. As to whether he will do or not, I think someone could call him. As I said, I talked to him Saturday night, which, within the last 48 hours, and he said he would do it. He was concerned, he's on several other boards, he was concerned about time commitment. I told him it wasn't an inordinately large time commitment, and that was his only concern.
You're basically saying he agreed to do it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say it nice because we're on national TV or something here. I don't know what it is. And I don't want to overstate things, but yeah, he said he'd do it. Now, admittedly, he was at the Athens Country Club when he said it, and he may have had a drink or two in him when he did it. But I can't speak to his sobriety, but I think he was pretty sober. Mark doesn't drink that much anyway, so I think I'm pretty sure he'll do it.
All right. Well, it sounds like we should vote on that as just a recommendation to the mayor.
John, do you have any thoughts?
I think it's a great idea. I think Marcus would be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a laborer. He's not I know that Guy is always looking for somebody in the trades to become a member of the board. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
So do you want to make a motion?
Well, we have sort of a motion on the table, don't we, from Guy, seconded by me, sort of?
Okay, let's vote on it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, very good. The motion is passed. We will request that Mark Snyder be added to our Preservation Commission. So thank you, everybody. That was good.
I'm not exactly sure what you said, Marianne, but we're only making a recommendation to the mayor.
Right. We make a recommendation to the mayor to call and ask.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, Paul, clarification. You said the mayor makes the appointment and the city council is involved. Is the city council vote on themselves, or are they just informed?
Can't hear you.
I know, I was on mute. I believe city council is informed of the mayor's appointment in case there's any issues there, but I don't believe city council actually votes on it. While we're talking here or wrapping up our meeting, I will try to quickly pull up Athens City Code and confirm my understanding.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. It's the mayor's decision.
Yeah.
Is there any new business that we should be discussing?
Mary, if I may, Marianne, if I can just clarify, I did pull up Athens City Code really quick. Under Section 4503 of Athens City Code, which is board membership for the Historic Preservation Board. It does say that members shall be appointed by the mayor and approved by city council. So it would go, the mayor would bring it forward to city council and request their approval.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. So I believe that's what we're doing. That's recommending him to the mayor. So thank you very much. Is there any looking at?
Who's going to formally, Paul, will you tell the mayor, or who's going to tell the mayor?
I'll reach out to Mark and make sure if there's any documentation I need from him, just to get a confirmation of his interest, and I'll let Mayor Patterson know as well. I can take care of that this evening or tomorrow. No issues there.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so does anyone have anything else that they need to bring up for us?
No.
But any announcements? No on that too. So with that, I think we are ready to adjourn our meeting. And thank you.
Move to adjourn.
What?
I move to adjourn.
Oh, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned. And thank you all very, very much.